everyone, it's Joy here for HoneyBee Stamps, and today I created a masculine card using some older products from HoneyBee Stamps. On the right there, I have die cut from a piece of craft cardstock a coffee cup, the coffee cup card from the coffee cup card dies, and then that beautiful patterned paper is from the Homestead Harvest, and I just love it. So I'm going to have that frame will go on the back of the card, this piece will go on the front of the card, and then we're going to add some details with these cute little images here. I'm actually only going to use this image and the two little coffee beans. This is from the Vintage Gift Card Box Add-on Fall Treats. It's kind of funny, I'm using all fall products, but I don't think it necessarily has to feel fall. It just really goes with the masculine really, really nicely. So I stamped my image with black ink, and I'm just using some Olo markers to color my background. I am taking my color inspiration from that beautiful plaid patterned paper that we're going to be using on this coffee shaped card. And so once I get all of these images colored, I will use the coordinating dies to die cut this out. And this is going to be on the front of our coffee cup card, and there is a band that you can put around this. I opted to not use that because it's pretty thick and it will cover up all of that pattern paper, and so I just opted to not use that. Instead, I will use these images here. So now that those are done, I am just going to die cut those out. Those other images that I stamped, I was going in a different direction with this card and then just decided to not use those. Now I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending with walnut stain around the edges. I want to do some distressing, get this kind of grungy. It is a masculine card and I just want it to feel a little bit more that way. And it also gives it a little bit of a vintage feel because of that stamp set. That same walnut stain around the edge of the coffee cup card. Then I'm using scorched timber on this pattern paper, a little bit of ink blending. Then I'm going to bring in my scissors and I will be doing some distressing. I'm going to cut two little areas into it just so it looks just worn down. I am not going to do that to the card base, the coffee cup card base, but just to this patterned paper on the front and a little bit on that sentiment piece that we're going to have. So just getting this all kinds of grungy on the edge, a little bit torn up. I love that look. Then I'm going to take the scorched timber ink pad and run it along the edge and give it that darker edge, because now you can see the white core of the paper. I don't want to see that. I want to make sure that goes away, so I'm just using the edge of my ink there and getting it on the edge of the paper. I'm going to do the same thing on that sentiment. And that looks really, really cute. I'm just going to take the rest of the ink on my blender brush and go over those coffee beans, and then a little bit of roughing up the edges with my scissors, and then bringing that scorched timber back in. And then I'm going to do some splatter with Distress Spray Stain in Scorched Timber. But first, I'm going to do some of that scorched timber on my work surface. I'm taking this lid to the wax melts and pressing it onto the patterned paper a few times because I want to create a coffee cup mark on the bottom, a coffee cup stain. I just thought that would be really, really cute. So I'm going to do that a few times, making sure it doesn't line up perfectly, and it came out so darling. Now I'm going to splatter the background. I'm not going to spray it. I'm going to take the cap off and then just kind of splatter where I want them to be, a little heavier by the coffee cup stain mark that we just created, and then a little bit on the background and a little bit on the sentiment here. Ink blending that back frame piece, because again, this is going to go on the back of the card. I do not normally decorate the back of it, but I just felt like this was such a cute shaped card that it needed a little bit of something. This was already die cut. Why not put it on the back? So using that same scorched timber, then I'm going to use walnut stain and ink blend the lids. I die cut two of those from white cardstock, one for the front, one for the back. And then I die cut that frame piece. And here's the centerpiece. This is going to go inside of our card so you can write your sentiment. So let's start gluing this together. I added some liquid glue to that frame. Again, this is the back of the card, and I'll fold this in just a minute. Here is the lid to the back. I like that there is a little bit of white on here, so that's why I didn't go heavy on the ink blending for the lids, because there's also a little bit of white on that coffee sentiment that we're going to be putting on the front. So I did like a little bit of that white. It kind of broke up a lot of those darker colors. I put my lid on first. Let's get that center panel in here on the inside of our card so we can write all the fun things. And then I'm going to place this on the front. But isn't that pattern paper on the back so pretty? You could use the back side of this and make a feminine version to this card and kind of have the same feel. I think that would be really cute. Then I will add some foam adhesive. Oh, that little piece, you could see white on that paper. I brought in my ink pad and then I got extra ink on my pattern paper, but I loved it. So it worked out good. Then I have my sentiment from the vintage gift card box add-on. And it says just for you. I'm lining that up in the lid and I'm just using some black ink. And then I have foam adhesive behind that sentiment. I'm going to pop that in place. And then we can add those 2 little coffee beans down here at the bottom. I just think they're a cute little addition. I love how this card turned out. I love the colors. I just think this is such a fun card. And then we can take a look at this up close. I love that pattern paper. That pattern is so pretty, the colors in it. I just love blues and oranges. I think they go so nicely together. And we have our inside and our back. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you guys have a really wonderful day. And I'll be back soon with another video.